Good morning, children. How are you? Hope you are doing well. Okay, today let me teach you another life skill. So, I'm here to teach you today with a new topic which is under our communication and life skills 310P. So, now to begin with, let me tell you. Okay, the topic. Now, look at the slide. Okay, now moving to our next slide. Here comes our topic. Today's topic is nothing but critical thinking. You might have heard this word because earlier in my introductory class only I told you what all come under life skills. Like we have different life skills. So right from beginning with attitude, we have motivation, we have stress management, we have critical thinking, we have creativity, and also we have time management, and we have leadership qualities. I repeated, I think. So even stress management and many. So these are all they are all come under some life skills. And here today it's a very important topic, and the topic is you have to think critically about critical thinking. Okay. Actually, there will be a confusion between creativity and critical thinking, but we shall discuss in detail today about critical thinking. It's one of the important life skill. I can assure you about that. Now moving to our next slide. Look here. So before okay, now look at the picture. Once you observe it, make a keen observation. So I'll be reading this. Sitting on top of your shoulders is one of the finest computers on the earth. But like any other muscle in your body, it needs to be exercised to work its best. Sitting on top of your shoulders is one of the finest computers. What is it? It's your brain. It's your brain. So, like other muscles in your body, here, unlike other muscles, they have to work efficiently. But still, it is something which needs to be exercised to work so that it can give the best performance. Its best performance. So that exercise we call it as thinking, which humans alone can do, isn't it? So that exercise is called what? It's called thinking. And that thinking should not be ordinary thinking, but normal thinking, but it should be something critical, and that we say it as critical thinking. Okay, now moving to our next slide. So we shall discuss first the objectives. As usual, let me tell you about the objectives of this particular lesson or unit. So at the end of the unit, the student will be able to understand the importance of critical thinking. You will understand the importance of critical thinking, and you will be able to distinguish or differentiate between what are actually facts and what are opinions. There is a difference between facts and opinions. Facts are something different from opinions. If you don't know, at the end of this unit, you will be able to differentiate or distinguish between what? Facts and opinions. Okay. And also, at the same time, you will also develop reasoning ability. If you are lacking, if you don't have that ability to reason something, then you will develop some reasoning ability. So these are the three objectives to be fulfilled by the end of this unit, and I hope you will achieve these objectives. Okay, now moving to our next slide. Okay, look here. Those who judge will never understand, and those who understand will never judge, isn't it? Okay, a person is judging us in the sense he is unable to understand us properly. Then only he will tend to judge us, isn't it? And if at all, if a person understands us, he will never judge. Followed? Those who judge us in the sense they will never understand, and those who understand, they will never judge us because they understand us, isn't it? Okay, I love this quote very much. Okay, now moving to our next slide. Look. Inside every person there is a person you don't know. Because though there's a code that faces the index of mind, or simply looking at at somebody, you cannot assess them. You cannot properly assess what actually the person is. Okay, so because inside every person you know, there is a person you don't know. Okay, so there will be something hidden. So it's very true, I believe. Okay, next, moving to our next slide. Four aspects of critical thinking. So before discussing about the four aspects of critical thinking, first let me give you some introduction about what is meant by critical thinking. Now, I told you it's an important life skill. It's an important life skill. Followed. Okay. So here now I can say that it is the critical thinking is the analysis of facts to form a judgment. So if we want to make a judgment, we analyze some facts, and that analysis of facts to form a judgment or to frame a judgment, that we call it as critical thinking. And it's something self disciplined, and it is something self monitored, and it's something self directed. Okay, you yourself directed, your discipline helps you to think critically about something, and you yourself monitor about it, isn't it? So that's why I can say that critical thinking is something self disciplined, self monitored, and self directed. Followed now? Okay, because we live in an interrogative world. We not only ask questions of the world around us, but it also asks questions of us, isn't it? So we number of questions we'll be asking. We are in an interrogative world. We encounter many questions and we question many, isn't it? So our everyday lives, they require us to make some informed judgments on what to believe, isn't it? We don't know what to believe or what to accept, and that needs some cognitive rationality. And what to do, we don't know. What to perform, and that comes that we can say it is practical rationality. So if you are good at cognitive rationality, then you will be good at practical rationality. So because every day in our lives, we have to make necessarily many judgments, isn't it? We have to take many decisions, understand many concepts, and we have to think wise, isn't it? So it can be said, now I can tell you that it can be said critical thinking is something, it's a process where you use your reasoning to know actually what is true, what is false, to differentiate between the truth and the false. So you need some logical reasoning, and it's a process of reasoning properly and differentiating or knowing what is true and what is false. That we say it as a critical thinking. Hope you understood. Okay. And so there are many things, many parts in critical thinking. So many together become critical thinking. And I can say part of it involves being able to separate facts from opinions. Just now I told you. So it's nothing but separating facts from opinions, because opinions are something different from facts. Okay. And part of it involves being fair and being open minded, and not dismissing anything without examination. So you shouldn't dismiss anything without after examination only. If at all, if you think something should be dismissed, then you have to dismiss. And also not accepting anything without examination either. In the sense, if you want to dismiss something, only that can be done after examination. And if at all, if you want to accept anything, it may be anything regarding a person or a situation, or taking a decision, or whether coming to a conclusion about whether it's true or false, something like that. But dismissing anything without examination, and accepting anything without examination, so this should be done. We have to dismiss only after examination, and we have to accept only after examination. Okay, so then how can it be done? If at all, if we are fair, if at all we are open minded. Okay, so just now I told you, in this interrogative world, we have to ask many questions, and we have to answer many questions. Okay, so now critical thinking, it involves questions of yourself. Sometimes we question about ourselves only, and sometimes we question about others, whether to make him a good friend, or can we communicate with him, or can we continue with him. It may be personal relation or something professional relationship. Okay, because You have to get a clarity. You have to think and then come to a conclusion, arrive at a conclusion, because we have to uncover the truth. And also we have also the motivators also behind the arguments. We have to, when somebody argues about something, we have to differentiate whether it is a fact or an opinion, or whether we can go along with that person or situation, like that. So we need to, it involves many questions, questioning yourself as well as questioning others. So that all is a process of critical thinking only before you make a judgment about anything. Okay, so now, there will be some ideal critical thinkers. So they are always open minded, they are always ready, they will be very eager to explore all ideas, or all points of view. So they'll be very curious. Yesterday in the class I told you about the word inquisitive, isn't it? So they'll be inquisitive, and they'll be very curious. So they want to explore, they want to take up any task, isn't it? And they're ready to explore any idea, because they are open minded and they can do it. And them we call such persons as ideal critical thinkers. And they use some tools. In the process of thinking, they use some tools. And what are the tools they use to come to frame, or to get a good, to make a good judgment? So the tools they use are something like, they use logic, and they research about something, and also they experience something. Out of their experiences they make a judgment, or they experience collecting some data or information, they gain some experience to make a judgment, and they do some research, and they apply all their logic, and finally they make a decision or think about something. So that's why they think something good always. Okay, so that's the reason we call them as ideal critical thinkers. So the tools they use are what? The tools, like logic, the tools like research, or tool like experience. So these are the tools they make use of. Okay, and we call them as ideal critical thinkers. Now we need many skills like that, so we have to use many tools like that, and we need some skills also. So the skills we need for critical thinking include, I can say, keen observation. It's a very important thing. Always observation is something helpful everywhere. So observation is something, a skill we need to acquire, so that we can be good at critical thinking. Okay, and observation is one skill. And analyzing something, analysis is another skill. And interpretation, we should be able to interpret. Okay, reflection and evaluation, inference, so explanation, problem solving, and decision making. Problem solving and decision making, I think from yesterday's lesson you are good at now problem solving and decision making. Okay, so again I repeat, so we need some skills for critical thinking, and they are observation, analysis, interpretation, reflection, evaluation, inference, explanation, problem solving, and decision making. Okay, followed. Okay, now look at this slide. 4 aspects of critical thinking. So abstract thinking past what your senses tell you. Okay, so abstract, I told you this word, something which cannot be seen but only felt. So from your experiences, you sense something, isn't it? That we said is abstract. Creative, thinking out of the box, innovative, differently. Okay, then systematic thinking, organizing your thoughts into logical steps. And then communicative thinking, being precise in giving your ideas to others. So you communicate the ideas you get to others. So there are 4 different aspects of critical thinking: and abstract thinking, creative thinking, systematic thinking, and communicative thinking. Okay, now moving to our next slide. What is critical thinking? Just now I told you. Again, coming to the definition, critical thinking is a type of thinking that questions assumptions, isn't it? It's an assumption, you have to question it, and finally that assumption is nothing but your opinion, and we have to finally come to a conclusion and make it as a fact or something to be something. We have to make it consider it to be a truth after thinking, analyzing, interpreting that assumption, and you have, when you come to a conclusion that it is something truth, then you take it up, isn't it? So here, that's why we are saying critical thinking is a type of thinking that questions assumptions. It's a way of deciding whether a claim is always true, sometimes partly true, or false. Just now I told you. Okay, it's a way of deciding whether a claim is always true, sometimes true, partly true, or false. Hope you understood now. Okay, now moving to the next slide. One more definition here. The thinking, though, of a problematic situation about what to believe or how to act, where the thinker makes a reasoned judgment that reflects competent use of the intellectual tools for quality thinking. Here, intellectual tools are what? Just now I told you: logic, research, and experience. Okay, so here critical thinking is can be called as a thinking. It may be about a problematic situation, and we will finally decide whether to believe it or how to act about it, and we make a reasoned judgment, and isn't it, that reflects competent use of, because what it reflects, when you make a reasoned judgment, there something is being reflected. What is being reflected? Your usage of intellectual tools of your qualitative thinking reflects in your judgment, and the judgment obviously will be right. Okay, hope you understood. It's a bit complex, but try to understand. Okay, next, moving to our next slide. This is Albert Einstein, what he said. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think, so critical thinking can be acquired, it can be taught. Okay, some will be by born, they have that capability or ability to think critically, but it's something which can be acquired, and that is something to be taught even in the educational institutions. That is something to be imparted by the education even. So education is not the learning of facts. What is the use of memorizing some facts? So even if you memorize much information or facts, so that is nothing to do with your critical thinking. Critical thinking is something else, okay, where you have to apply your wisdom, and wisdom is something from knowledge, just facts, mere facts. But logic, where we see that we apply and that we say it as our wisdom, isn't it? So education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think, according to Albert Einstein. Okay, now moving to next slide by Henry Ford. Okay, his quote: "Thinking is the hardest work there is," which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. Because it's the hardest work, many, they avoid it. Okay, they don't feel that energetic, or they don't decide to think critically about something because they consider it to be the hardest work. So that's what he's saying. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why only few engage. Few try to think critically because they consider it to be something hard. Okay, now moving to our next slide. Change your thinking, and it will change your life. Followed? Change your thinking and it will change your life. Okay, next. Overthinking is the biggest cause of unhappiness. What's the biggest cause of unhappiness? Yes, some people, they too often they overthink about something. Even in the competitive examinations also, even the question may be very simple, but they overthink about that and simply they commit an error. And again, there's scope for them to lose marks, many marks, isn't it? That happens. And even in a real life also, it happens. So think how much you have to think about something, but don't overthink. Okay, because overthink is the biggest cause of your unhappiness. Okay, now moving to the next slide. Martin Luther King, isn't it, Junior? So according to him, what he says is, The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. Okay, so just as Einstein said, he is also saying the same. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively. Teacher is supposed to make the child to think, learn how to think critically. Okay, so intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Then only it can be considered as a true education. Okay, now very nice. Now moving to our next slide. If a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. We should teach the way they learn. So if a child doesn't learn something in the classroom, what all we teach, if you fail to learn something what all I teach, then what should I do? So I should teach the way you learn. So I have to understand your mindset, and according to your mindset I have to change my way of teaching, and I should teach you the way you learn. But finally my ultimate goal should be making you to learn something out from my teaching, isn't it? Out of my teaching I have to impart something so that you can learn something. So I have to change my strategy and teach the way you learn, isn't it? Okay, it's a very good quote. Now next, moving to another slide, by its quotation by Peter Fassion. Education is nothing more nor less than learning to think. They are saying that education is nothing but simply thinking only. So it's nothing more or nothing less, but just it is learning to think is something education. Okay? Okay. Now moving to our next slide. I've collected all these quotes because I felt they were very important. I wanted you to go through this. Okay. Without a good question, a good answer has no place to go. Isn't it? Without a good question. So questioning is a basic thing. If anybody wants to learn something, then he's supposed to question about something, isn't it? So without a good question, a good answer has no place. It's by Clayton Christensen. Okay. Now moving to the next slide. You know Thomas Alva Edison. What he is saying is 5% of the people think. 10% of the people think they think. And the other 85% would rather die than think. Okay. So 85% of the people, they never think, and 10% they think that they are thinking. Okay, they think that they are thinking that they think. Actually, they don't think. So we can add that 10 to this 85. So 95 according to Edison, they don't think, they never think. And only 5% of the people think. Imagine. Only 5%. Okay. Next. Moving to our next slide. It is his opinion. It may be fact or not, but it is his opinion. And later I'll tell you what is the difference between a fact and an opinion. Okay. So next, small thinking has and always will be punished in one way or another. You have to think always something big. If you think small, then small thinking has, okay, and it always will be punished. Small thinking has some punishment, and small thinking always will be punished in one way or another. Okay. Next. The art of teaching. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Okay. So teaching is an art, and that should help you or assist you in teaching discovery. Then only it can be called as true teaching or perfect teaching. Okay, now let us stop looking at the slides. Now let me tell you some steps involved in critical thinking. So I can say that you have to first some steps. Let me tell you the first step. So you have to identify. If you identify an issue or a problem, because that will be the first step. First, we take up a problem, then finally we arrive at a solution. So, the first step obviously it will be identifying an issue or some problem. And next, the second step we are supposed to do is, supposed to take is, we have to create some inferences on why the problem exists and how it can be solved. Okay, we have to create some inferences. Why the problem exists and how it can be solved. That will be the second step. Next, what we have to do again, third step, we have to collect some information on that particular issue. Okay, collecting information. Then, because in that process, we find some findings. Okay, so then the fourth step should be we have to organize that findings, organize all the findings, and later fifth step we have to develop some solutions, and we have to execute them also. Okay. Next, sixth step can be we have to analyze what solutions worked or didn't work. What solutions worked earlier out of the experience of some individuals. We have to analyze what solutions worked earlier to the same problem or, or else didn't work. Okay. Then the final step can be finally we have to identify the ways to improve that particular solution. Okay, we have to finally identify the ways to improve the solution. So these all steps are part of critical thinking. So these are the steps involved in critical thinking. Steps of critical thinking. Okay, understood. So now to be a good critical thinker, we need to be very objective, objective in the sense, we should analyze the problem. So how we have to analyze? We have to analyze the problem without allowing our emotions, without allowing our assumptions to influence the way we think about it. Because in the process of critical thinking, we should never be influenced by our assumptions or by our emotions. Okay. So we have to detach our emotions, we have to detach our assumptions while we think about some problem or some issue. Isn't it? Because when we analyze something, then that should be based on the facts only, and that analyzing that should be based on the context only, isn't it? So keeping away our emotions, keeping away our assumptions, getting detached from our assumptions and emotions, then we have to think critically about that particular issue or problem. Okay, so then we can say that, so in the sense we should be objective. That is what is called as being objective. So to be a good critical thinker, we ought to be objective, we need to be objective. Okay, so now it's very important. So actually critical thinking skills are very important, because always we have to learn about the importance of a particular life skill. If we know the importance of a particular life skill, then only we will tend to learn that particular life skill, isn't it? So where it is useful, mostly in the sense, particularly it may be in business or in management or something related to finances. So there critical thinking really will be very important. So now employers, they choose they select some candidates. So employers, they value and seek out those candidates who have strong critical thinking skills only. So they give a situation and they want them to handle that particular conflict or situation. And if they are effective in handling that particular situation, then they choose to select those particular candidates, because they really need such critical thinkers in their business or in their management or in their company. Okay. So any conflict can be handled effectively and resolved using critical thinking skills. That's why they are very important. Followed now. Okay, so also good critical thinkers, they can draw some reasonable conclusions from a set of information, and they will discriminate between useful and less useful details for solving a problem or for making a decision. So they can discriminate. Followed. So because we tend to receive knowledge passively at many stages of our education, even I too, I have received information very passively. But later when I grew, then later, now I think that what all I have done in my past, I brood over my past. But it's something, you can't regain it. Okay. So we just go on receiving the knowledge passively at many stages of our life. Although we can highly be critical in other aspects. In some aspects we'll be very highly critical, but in some aspects we'll just remain as passive listeners or receivers of some information or some knowledge. Okay. Now, for example, a useful example of a situation where you can think critically. Now you are about to buy a car because you don't want to waste much of your money. If at all, if you want to buy a second-hand car, then what you do? Okay, just looking at the face value, we don't buy anything from anyone. Instead, regardless of your knowledge of cars, you may have or not, but what you do, you make a rough process. What you do, you begin the process of critically analyzing whether to buy that particular car because it's second hand. You have to check it. So this might involve some. You will be looking at the tires, you will be looking at the brakes and paintwork or lights, and for each of this, you would have some criteria, a rough idea, isn't it? Good brakes. What do you mean by good brakes or good lights? Everything you will be checking. And after thinking critically about each element of that, then you might ask even for extra evidence records also. You'll ask that person, and you can then do your own initial evaluation by weighing up and all the good points and bad points, whether to prefer it or avoid it, good and bad, merits and demerits of purchasing it or buying it. You'll balance, you'll think, and you will weigh the balance. And finally, if it good, then if you think it's good buying that car, then you will prefer that, isn't it? Unless and until you do all this thinking, whether or not the car meets your demands or needs, and whether it's good to buy, isn't it? And if sometimes, if still you want, if you are unable to make a decision or take a decision still, then what you do, you seek the guidance of some expert. You take the expert opinion and further detailed analysis you do on aspects because you are not sure. Okay, and then you finally evaluate and then you take a decision. Because with experience, you get a better idea of what to look for and what questions to ask, etc. etc. Here, experience is a tool. I told you logic, reason, and experience. So, you seek the experience of others, and that becomes your tool, and your logic, your reasoning, all you put in, apply. Finally, you critically think. This is just an example of how critical thinking is involved in doing or facing or handling any problem or any situation, isn't it? So that's what I wanted to tell you about critical thinking. And now, thinking is an important skill. I told you how to think in a situation, which type of thinking skills, what can be done, and it's individual. It's all related to that particular individual only. There are some important types of thinking. Again, there are many types of thinking skills. So there will be some of them are, I can say, you creative thinking, lateral thinking, critical thinking, logical thinking, parallel thinking, structured thinking, positive thinking, strategic thinking, divergent thinking, convergent thinking, associative thinking, radiant thinking. I told you many sorts of thinking, but here our focus today is only on critical thinking. But here we have come across some words. Let me tell you a few words. Here, what do you mean by divergent? These are familiar words, but still you may not know the exact meaning of what is meant by divergent and what is meant by convergent. Let me explain you. Okay, so divergent. Divergence is nothing but creative thinking only. We call it as divergent in the sense. So we generate in the process of divergent thinking, which can also be called as creative thinking only. So here we generate ideas by exploring many possible solutions. And divergent thinking, it will be very spontaneous. It will be free flowing. Okay, because your ideas will be generated after exploring many possible solutions. Okay, like for example, divergent thing. One example, like if I show you an image or some picture, if I want you to write a caption for that particular picture, you think creatively. Each one will you will say one some different caption, isn't it? So now that's the difference between convergent thinking and divergent thinking. So divergence is something generating ideas by exploring many possible solutions, and which will be something spontaneous and something free flowing. Whereas convergent is something just it doesn't require any significant creativity, and it's an ability to just give answers to already framed some standard questions. Okay, now critical thinking, speaking about critical thinking, it's a term that is used to denote thorough or exhaustive thinking and is primarily used in the field of education. Yes, you need it the most in the field of education. So now the global economy, the global knowledge economy, it is driven by information and technology, IT. So one has to be able to deal with changes very quickly. These you generation, you have to deal with any changes very quickly and very effectively. So that's the reason, there's the importance of why some critical thinking skills need to be learnt or acquired. Followed. Okay. So just I told you, in management or financial something related to, it's very important. It's very important. And how to improve. So being able to discern, you should be able to know the difference between what is meant by fact and what's meant by opinion also. Now let's move to the next slide. Look here. Overthinking. Look at the slide. Overthinking is the biggest cause of unhappiness. I told you. I think this slide has been repeated but with different images. Okay, now moving to the next image. Next slide. Learn how to be a critical thinker without having a critical heart. Having critical heart is something should be avoided. You are supposed to avoid a critical heart. Criticizing someone should be avoided, but you should be a critical thinker. Most probably, it should be some sort of positive criticism. Some sort of positive criticism followed. Okay. Now moving to our next slide. So the word why not only taught me to ask but also to think. And thinking has never hurt anyone. On the contrary, it does us all a world of good. Isn't it? When you think, it's something for the good of everything. Okay, everyone. So why not only taught me to ask but also to think. Why is nothing but reasoning, isn't it? And thinking never hurts anyone. But instead it does some good, according to Anne Frank. Now moving to our next slide. Okay. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learning, unlearning, and relearning. These are all part of critical thinking only. So the persons who cannot learn, who cannot unlearn, who cannot relearn, they can be considered as the most illiterate in the 21st century, rather than those who cannot read and write, according to this person. Okay, Toffler. Now moving to our next slide. When all think alike, then no one is thinking, isn't it? Critical thinking is done only by persons who think something different, isn't it? When all think alike, then in the sense, no one is thinking. Moving to our next slide. It's a quote by Buddha. Oh, I forgot to write here Buddha, I think. So we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts only. What you are, it's because of your thought only. With our thoughts, we make the world, isn't it? What we are what we think, isn't it? From our thoughts comes our personality. Okay, so we are what we think, and all that we are arises with our thoughts only. So with our thoughts, we can make the world and we can change the world also. Okay, now moving to our next slide. Every student can learn, just not on the same day or in the same way. Okay, each student will learn at different time, isn't it? It will be according to his own style of learning, his own grasping, his own thinking, isn't it? His own mindset. So every student can learn, just not in the same way or in the same day, on the same day or in the same way. Okay, next. The important thing is not to stop questioning. The day you stop questioning is the day you decided yourself not to learn anything new. Okay, so the important thing is not to stop questioning. Moving to next slide. Because questioning is the ability to organize our thinking around what we don't know. Followed. Questioning is the ability to organize our thinking around what we don't know. When you don't know something, obviously you question, isn't it? Okay. The quality of our thinking will determine the quality of our future, isn't it? Your thinking will determine your future. Yeah, no doubt about that. Okay. Now, before that, I told you should be able to differentiate actually between a fact and an opinion. And let me tell you, you know what's meant by fact, what's meant by an opinion, but still, let me give some examples. So, when being able to discern the differences between fact and opinion, that will help your evaluation of the reliability and usefulness of texts you encounter. So, for example, if I tell what's meant by fact is a statement only, and we call it as a fact because it can be proven. It can be proven either as true or it can be proven that it's false. So a fact is something which can be verified with evidence. Remember this word, with evidence. So if you can verify something with evidence, if you prove it to be true or if you prove it to be false, then we say it as a fact, isn't it? The earth is round. There are many theories which prove that earth is round. So it's a fact. The sun rises in the east, it's a fact. Summer follows spring is a fact. Okay, followed. Now coming to opinion. Opinion is your expression, your perspective, your feeling. Okay, that cannot be proven. So your opinion will be based on your emotions. Sometimes they are meant to be deliberately misled others also. They mislead others also because opinion is based on your own belief, your own viewpoint. It's your view, it's your perspective. They are personal, and most often they are personal interpretations only. Your personal interpretation it is, and it cannot be verified with any evidence. And when something cannot be verified with evidence, we don't say it as a fact, but instead we have to say it as an opinion. For example, okay, I think India is the best country in the entire world. It's my opinion, according to me. Today I think it's very hot when compared to yesterday, relatively than yesterday. It's, I feel today is very hot. Okay, it's suffocating. So this is just my opinion, I can't prove it. Okay, so it becomes an opinion. This is the difference between facts and opinions, because you should have the capability or ability to differentiate or distinguish fact and opinion. I told at the beginning of the lesson only, because it's also a part of critical thinking. Followed? Okay, now then therefore when you read, it's important to judge the facts and opinions carefully, so that you can avoid some confusion and you can come to a conclusion. Followed? Okay, so if you avoid confusion between fact and opinion, then you can come to a good conclusion. And you have to ask yourself whether the facts are reliable, or just your opinions are based on your facts, like that. Okay, and how to inculcate critical thinking. How to inculcate critical thinking. So now you have to actively, you should volunteer to solve some problems, and sometimes you have to seek some advice from some professionals also. Okay, so then you can inculcate some critical thinking. It's carried on by violating accepted principles. So now you have to get exposed regularly to various forms of some puzzles or logical thinking games or some brain teasers, where there's a scope for analytical reasoning, and that becomes food for your critical thinking, so that you can inculcate critical thinking. Followed? So that is a method to develop critical thinking in you, and you have to use every opportunity to exercise your problem solving or your logical reasoning skills. Followed? And when you read a story or something like that, you have to pause, or when you recite or when you tell a story to somebody else, then if you want to improve their critical thinking, or yourself if you want to improve your critical thinking, you have to ask yourself some questions related to that particular story. Okay, and sometimes what would you do if you were the main character in the story? These questions make you to think, and you have to make the best use of some opportunity, so that you can embrace some creativity. And because embracing some creativity in while learning something is a part of learning only. And if as a teacher I should ask you, so that if I want to inculcate some critical thinking ability in you, and develop such attitude in you, such thinking of you, then I have to ask you some open ended questions in my class. isn't it? Then you will develop some hypothesis regarding that, and I have to make you to participate in a program, or I have to myself create a program or assign such tasks where you can develop your creative skills. Thereby, you can automatically develop your critical thinking skills. Okay, and you have to recognize some problems, and you have to find you have to use some trial and error methods. You have to experiment about that problem, and you have to make a generalization, and finally you have to come to a conclusion and a solution for that problem, because that involves some critical thinking. There you can, in that way you can enhance your critical thinking skill. Okay, and also sometimes you need to gather some relevant information. Okay, because some there will be some assumptions, isn't it? You should have self confidence, and you should have some trust in you, so that you can make an effective judgment, your own judgment. And also what you have to do is you have to comprehend anything, and comprehend something with accuracy, and there should be clarity, and you should be able to interpret any data, and you should be able to evaluate any argument. So these are some steps involved in critical thinking, isn't it? And when I give you some classroom assignments also, you have to think some divergently as well as sometimes convergent, but most often, to improve your critical thinking skill, you're supposed to think divergent in a divergent way. Okay, isn't it? So in that way, if you do, then certainly you will develop your critical thinking skill in you. Followed? So that I can assure you. Now, the thing is, you have to develop your reasoning abilities. Okay, because the quality of our moments determines the quality of our life. And uh, and one thing, critical thinking should not be confused with being argumentative or being critical of other people. I always say argument is an exchange of ignorance, while discussion is an exchange of intelligence. Follow? Argument, whenever you do, okay, if you make an argument, then it's nothing but it's an exchange of ignorance only. You learn nothing out of it, out of an argument. But if you discuss with something, out of their experience or out of their thinking, you learn something. So critical thinking should not be confused with being argumentative or being critical of other people. In earlier quote, I told you, you should not have a critical heart, but you should have critical thinking. Okay, then critical thinking can help us acquire knowledge and improve our theories, and it will strengthen our arguments, and we can use critical thinking to enhance our work process and improve ourselves a lot. Followed? Okay. And some people, they believe that critical thinking hinders creativity because it requires some logic and rationality. But creativity might require breaking rules. This is a misconception. Okay, so it's quite compatible with thinking. If you think out of the box, certainly that's nothing but critical thinking only. And I told you, to be open minded. To be open minded, if you are open minded, then only you can become ideal critical thinkers. Okay, because creative people, they always tend to be very open to new ideas, and they'll be ideal, or they tend to always choose new ways of thinking, because they are constantly thinking about life and things from different perspectives. They'll be thinking, for example, if you're a writer, then if a writer is there, then he has got great critical thinking. Why do you think so? Because he is putting all the time himself in each of the characters of that particular story, isn't it? He's drafting the novel. When he tends to write a novel, while drafting the novel, he will put himself in their mindsets of that particular characters and think in that way. So when they are living their life, they putting themselves then interesting, certainly they'll develop creativity, and creative people are truly interesting individuals. So because they have some different vibrant personality, and mostly there is a scope for them to, day by day, they go on increasing the critical thinking, because they are becoming more and more creative. Followed? Okay, so now moving to our next slide. Activity. I have given you some activities, so this is an activity. So name three people. Name three people. Off should be removed. Okay, name three people who who talk more than you. You recall your friends and cite me. This is an activity you submit it's also sort of assignment only. So name three people who talk more than you, or talk less than you, or work hard than you, are always nice to you, are always very creative, and name three people whom you think are very smart, or isn't it? Okay, these about these six. So three people who talk more than you, less than you, work hard, always nice to you, very creative than you, not than you, okay, are at least very creative according to your perspective, and you think are smart. So this is an activity to be done. And next, moving to another activity. Name of three things that are square in shape, okay, that smell good. It's very easy task. Live in the water. Oh, okay. You know, there are very easy questions. You enjoy doing. Name three things you enjoy doing. You love your hobbies. Okay. You don't enjoy doing. And name three things which scare you. Okay. So, and also distinguish between a fact and opinion. I gave you some examples, and I want you to write some examples so that I will know that you are able to distinguish or differentiate fact and opinion. Followed? Okay. Now, moving to the next slide, it's an assignment. What would happen if we had to live without mobiles and computers? Okay. What would happen if we had to live without RoboSQL? In that you have seen, I think. We had to live without mobiles and computers. And if we had to live without electricity, what would happen? You think critically, and then you submit this assignment by deadline is next Monday. Okay. Followed? Okay. Next. Here is a last quote. Mindset is what separates the best from the rest. Mindset is what separates the best from the rest, isn't it? To be the best, okay, from the rest, your mindset should be that perfect, that critical, isn't it? So, mindset is what separates the best from the rest. It's all critical thinking is something related to our mind only. The way you set it, the way you enhance your thinking, the way you think something with logic, with reason, with experience, etc. So, mindset is what separates the best from the rest. Followed? Okay. Now, hope today we have discussed a lot about critical thinking, isn't it? So, critical thinking is a very important life skill which needs to be acquired, because it's nothing but it's something self-disciplined, self-monitored, self-directed, and it's analyzing the facts, distinguishing facts and opinions, and finally forming or framing a judgment. And we live in an interrogative world. We need to face many problematic situations. We are supposed to ask many questions, and we need to make many decisions regarding many issues, okay, whether financial or professional or personal. But in that process, you should develop critical thinking, isn't it? So there should be practical rationality. Then only, if you have reasoning, then you can know what is truth and what is false, and then you can separate everything good and bad, and you should be open minded, okay, and you should, then only you can become ideal critical thinkers. And the tools are logic, research, and experience, isn't it? You need to observe, you need to analyze, you need to interpret, you need to reflect, you need to evaluate, you need to infer many things, you need to explain, and you need to solve the problems, and you need to make a decision, isn't it? Because these are all part of critical thinking. So, right from identifying an issue or a problem, okay, so right from that point to last identifying a solution, the final step. So the many steps are part of critical thinking, and you need to be always divergent, then only you can become a good critical thinker. And in that process you need to be very objective, detaching all your emotions or assumptions, so that you cannot or never be influenced by them while taking or making a judgment or making a decision. Followed? Followed what I said? Okay? So these are some basic principles to be followed while making a decision or thinking critically. And now hope you understood a lot out of this lesson. I think by the end of this lesson, I think the objectives intended, the objectives of this particular unit, I think they have been achieved. So I will know when I assign you a task. So in our next class, I'll give you some activities so that I want you to assess your critical thinking, your mindset, whether you are the best from the rest or you are one among the rest. Okay. So I hope you have understood the concept perfectly. And thank you, students, for your patient listening. And I shall come or meet you in the next class with a new topic. Thank you. Thanks a lot.